Okay, dear students, let's start. Yes, Alvina, Ayan, and everyone, please turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera. So, in the previous class, we were discussing, let me check what we studied in the previous class. Okay, we were studying the properties of metals and non-metals. Let's move further. So, we discussed about this one. Do we have studied the chemical properties of metals and non-metals, Alvina? Do we have studied that metals when react with water or metals when react with acid? Check it in your notebook.
We have stopped till metal reacting with acid here, and then we wrote a question after this.
Metals reaction with water. Don't we study the metals reaction with water?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Okay. Do we study the HNO3 reactions? Why HNO3 do not produce hydrogen gas? Because HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes.
Yes.
Okay. So today we shall be going to study the next property of metals and non-metals. So metals when react with metals actually. Okay. Metals when react with water. Just let me do one. Okay. So we have metals reaction with water. Here we have. Okay, yes, everyone, please turn on your camera. I'm not going to repeat it again. Just everyone in my class, you have to automatically turn on your camera without repeating. Okay. Waste my 5 minutes every time. So metals reaction with acid we have discussed in the previous class, and today we shall be going to discuss metals reaction with water. Okay. So as we know that when metals react with water, metals reaction with water, they form metal oxide or metal hydroxide. They form metal oxide or metal hydroxide, like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. These are the four metals that form hydroxide. Like for example, if sodium is going to react with water, it will form sodium hydroxide. But if zinc is going to react with water, it will form zinc oxide, not zinc hydroxide. Aluminium and react with water, it forms aluminium oxide, not aluminium hydroxide. Actually, these four metals are reactive metals. These four metals are reactive metals. And when they react, stop writing. Nobody is going to write anything. When I explain you, nobody is allowed to write anything. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that this is sodium metal. When react with water, initially it will give you sodium oxide, like the other metals. Zinc when react with water, it will give you zinc oxide. Calcium when react with water, it will give you, sodium when react with water, it will give you sodium oxide. First, initially, it will give you this one. But this sodium oxide, when formed in the beaker, there is still water. There is still water in the beaker, na? Not 100% all the water will get. So this sodium hydroxide will further react with the water and form sodium hydroxide. Okay. This is called sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is actually, we will simply say that sodium hydroxide means we don't get this product. We get this one and this one. It is an intermediate. Sodium oxide is an intermediate. It further react with this one. So the first four metals like sodium oxide, calcium oxide, potassium oxide, and magnesium oxide, they further react with water and form hydroxides. So that's why metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, when react with water, they give their hydroxide, respective hydroxide. Mariam and Abdul Kavi. Abdul Kavi, in the previous class, when I was just taking your class, you leave the class. I asked you to leave, remain in the class, and I need to talk to your parents, but you leave 5 minutes earlier. May I know the reason? Why did you do like that? Why did you behave like that? I asked you na to call to talk to your parents after the class is going to end, and you leave 5 minutes earlier. You think that I don't remember anything? If is there any student in the class who is going to leave when I end the class, only then he is going to leave the class. If anyone I found that he leave the class 5 minutes or 7 minutes or 2 minutes, even 1 minute earlier than me, without informing me, then I'm going to talk to your parents. And I will not permit any students before I'm going to call their parents or interact with their parents. It's not your will when you just want to comes into the class and when you want to leave in the class. So what I'm saying here is that sodium when react with water, it gives you sodium hydroxide. And this reaction is so exothermic that the heat liberated out during this reaction let the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Did I show this in the previous class, the video? Did I show you the video, sodium metals reaction with water? Anybody?
No, sir. No.
Let me show you that how does sodium react when sodium is going to react, that how does it happens. Okay, let me show you. So if I'm having here, okay, sodium reaction with water. So it is so exothermic that the heat liberated out during the reaction let the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Okay. So you can have this one. Just a minute. There's a short video here. You can check that this person added this one. You can check it. That he added sodium to this one, and when he added the sodium, this hydrogen gas is produced, and this led the hydrogen gas to catch fire and result in the blast. Okay, let me show you some other videos also over this one. You can check it here also. That this is a sodium metal, and when you add it to water, so you will check it that it is so means it is ready, it is hardly means we can say that it is vigorously reacting with this one. Okay, so this result in the blast. Why? Because the hydrogen gas that is going to produce, it led it to catch fire. So it is very exothermic reaction and led it to hydrogen gas to catch fire. And it forms sodium hydroxide, not sodium oxide, because this sodium oxide further react with water to form sodium hydroxide. So this reaction actually occurs in two steps. Okay, and same case for the potassium also. So whatever written in this one, please memorize this one first, and then you have to write it without seeing this in the copy on the screen. So memorize this one fast. Sodium react with metals at all temperatures. It react with ice even, sodium and potassium. Reaction of metals with ice, sorry, sodium, water with sodium is so isothermic that the heat liberated out during this reaction led the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Done? Noted? Memorized? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Memorize it fast. That the four metals, sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesiums only form hydroxide, other form. But I've not written here any metal that comes below hydrogen like copper, silver, gold, because this is a displacement reaction. Metals should be more reactive than hydrogen. If I write copper, copper is less reactive than hydrogen, so it will not displace. It will not produce any hydrogen gas. Start. Done? Mariam, turn on the camera. Oh, you are there.
Sir, it's on.
And you are traveling somewhere? You are in hijab.
Yes, sir.
Eh? Where are you traveling?
Sir, we had relatives over, so we're just outside, nowhere else.
And you are taking the class like with.
Yes, sir. My other relative is also in the same tuition, so he also has class, so we both are there.
Okay. So done, everyone? Memorized?
Yes.
Okay, start writing. So Mariam, you don't have copy right now with you and pen?
No, sir, I'm only taking screenshot. I will write later.
Okay. This is called sincerity. Sincerity. Mariam is sincere student. She used to take the class. Done? Noted, everyone? Check if you missed something. Check if you missed something. Done?
Yes.
Okay. So similarly, if I take the other elements, if I took the other elements, like for example, sodium when react with water, it react with at all temperature. It will form sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Stop writing. Nobody is going to write now. Potassium when react with water, it will gives you potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Calcium when react with water, it will gives you calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Magnesium when react with water, it will gives you magnesium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. So sodium and potassium can react with even ice, but they can react with hot water. Like for example, ice is the highest value of water, you can say. That even if metal is reacting with ice, it can react with any form of water. It can react with steam, it can react with hot water, it can react with cold water. Understood what I'm saying? Like you say
Yes.
that you have a 100 rupee note, and if you have a 100 rupee note, you can buy anything from that 100 rupee note which is having the price less than 100. Like you can buy a product of 50 rupees, you can buy a product of 20 rupees, you can buy a product of 10 rupees, you can buy a product of 5 rupees. But if you have 10 rupees, can you buy the product of 100? No. Okay. So same thing that it can react with ice, it can react with cold water, it can react with hot water, it can react with steam. It is a 100 rupee note, you can say. But sodium and potassium both. But calcium react with cold water, but not with ice. So calcium, you can understand that it is 50 rupees note, it can buy the lower than 50, anything, but not the product of 100. I mean, it does not buy 100 rupees. It means you can say that it cannot react with ice. So it can react with cold water, it can react with hot water, it can react with steam. But the preference is given to this cold water. Because if something is reacting with cold water, why we need to make it hot? Got it? For example, if there is something that you can buy it for 100 rupees, yeah, 50 rupees. So why you are going to give it for 100 rupees? If you can buy something, if you can react, if calcium can react with cold water, so why we need to make it hot? Why we are reacting with hot water? No need. Understood what I am going to say here?
Yes.
So cold water, that calcium can react with cold water. It can also react with hot water in a steam, but the preference will be given to the cold water because cold water is more. Similarly, magnesium react with hot water and steam, but if magnesium can react with hot water, why we need to convert it into steam? We just warm the water for 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, it will start reacting. Why we need to make it to 100-degree temperature, start making the water to the temperature of 100? We can warm the water and it will start reacting. So hot water will be the preference will be given to the magnesium. That if I ask you that which element can react with hot water, so this is magnesium. If I ask you that which element can react with cold water, that is calcium. But it does not mean that sodium and potassium cannot react with cold water. They can also react with cold water. Okay. So when we discuss the question over it, then you will able to do that one. Okay. Next one is, even if we have aluminium, zinc, and iron, if they react with water, it will gives you Al2O3. They don't give you hydroxide like they are giving you hydroxide because their metal oxide do not react with water. If it is zinc, then it will give you ZNO. And if it is iron, then it is give you Fe3O4. Actually, Fe3O4 is a mixture. Fe3O4 is a mixture of FeO dot Fe2O3. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
Plus hydrogen gas. They all will gives you hydrogen gas. But the condition here that is that water should be hot. Sorry, water should be steam, in a steam form. Water in steam form. Water should be in steam form. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
So it does not react with cold water. And in case of calcium, sodium and potassium, the reaction is very exothermic and very vigorous. But in calcium, it is not so. It is not so exothermic. And calcium also float, because like if you make the potassium in the water, it will create blast. I have seen, you have seen the in the video. I've shown you. Okay, now if I'm saying here is that if you are having, okay, let me show you that calcium's reaction with water. The calciums also float on the surface of water. Okay, let me show you. And why does it's let me show you this one. Okay, here we have this one. Okay, so when we are adding calcium to it, it is not so exothermic that it let the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Like in the previous one we were discussing, the sodium and potassium, the hydrogen gas was fire, means it catches fire. You can check here, the calcium start floating. It will come to the surface. Why it is coming to the surface? Because the bubbles of the hydrogen gas, you check it, the bubbles of the hydrogen gas, like there is a second Newton's third law is coming here. Means it is, let me show you one thing, just a minute. What I'm saying here is that there is two conditions that is making the calcium to float. First of all, the bubbles of the hydrogen gas. Like for example, if you have a brick and it is filled with balloon, means you are having five to six balloon. You've tied it with that one, and you want to drain this balloon. You keep that brick in the water. Now this will not. It will start floating. It will not get sink because the balloon is providing enough thrust that is making it to float. Same thing, the balloon like bubbles that is produced when calcium is reacting with the water, the hydrogen gas filled bubbles stick to the surface of the calcium. They stick to the surface of the calcium, and they are providing an upthrust. When you have an bubbles filled with something or hydrogen gas, which is the lightest gas, even if you fill the hydrogen gas in the balloon, it will take the balloon to float. Or balloon filled with hydrogen or helium gas, it goes into the air. Same thing happens here also when the bubbles stick to the surface of the calcium. And moreover, calcium is more reactive. Like for example, magnesium is less reactive than hydrogen. It has less mass, but it does not come to the surface. Magnesium try to float, but it does not come to the surface. It comes up and then settle down, then it's dry up and then settle down. Because magnesium, in case of magnesium, it is not, the reaction is not exothermic, sorry, not providing sufficient amount of hydrogen that can let the magnesium metal to float. But in case of magnesium, sorry, in case of calcium, calcium is enough reactive metal. It is enough that it is providing enough hydrogen that let it to make the calcium metal to float. Understood? Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
So first of all, what you need to do is you can check it that this is coming here, and you can check that this metal calcium is floating over the surface. Okay, and this hydrogen gas bubbles are there, and this is reacting. This is the calcium metal which is forming calcium hydroxides on reaction.
So which gas is releasing over here?
What are you saying?
Which gas is releasing?
Which gas is releasing? Hydrogen gas is releasing. This we have studied.
Okay.
Okay. So here we have this one. Now, if I'm talking here is this, that in this case, when metals react with water, it will gives you their respective hydroxide or oxide in case of these three metals and producing hydrogen gas. So memorize this one first, and then you have to note it down. Their conditions are important. I'm going to ask you the conditions. That sodiums when react with water, it can react with ice and cold water and hot water steam. But the preference will be given to the ice and cold water. Here also, the cold water, that calcium, sodium, and potassium can react with cold water, but the magnesiums react with hot water. And these aluminium, zinc, and iron react with steam. Memorize it fast. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Done? Memorized, everyone? Abdul Kavi, again you turn off your camera. And Ayan. In this, who is this Arif Makbul? Him named with Arif Makbul.
Sir, I'm Aisha.
Aisha. And this Ahmad?
Sir, it's me, Mariam.
Mariam. So why have you changed your name?
Sir, I'll rename now. Okay.
Done, everyone memorized? Can I ask you? Yes, Ayan, tell me what happens what are the conditions required when zinc is going to react with water?
Steam, zinc oxide plus hydrogen
Zinc oxide plus?
hydrogen gas.
Okay, conditions? Water should be steam in a steam form. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, you, Alvina, can you tell me that which product is formed when water is reacting with, iron is reacting with water?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat?
I'm asking that which product is going to form, name the product that is going to form or the compound formula. When iron is going to react with water.
Fe3O4.
And the conditions?
It reacts with steam.
Okay, yes, Abdul Kavi, can you tell me that what happens when sodium is going to react with water? Abdul Kavi, are you there?
Yes.
I'm asking that what happens when sodium is going to react with water? Did you understand Hindi, Abdul Kavi?
Yes.
May I know, मतलब ऐसी क्या वजह है? क्या मैं पढ़ाता हूँ तो तुम्हें समझ में आता है?
Yes.
तो फिर एक भी सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे पाते तुम? Why you want to keep your mouth shut? Every time I ask you, you just keep your mouth shut, not going to speak anything. Is this the way of studying something? Either you can answer me,
No.
sir, I don't understand. Please, can you explain me one more time? So I don't remember. Can you explain me? At least say something. Why you want to keep your mouth shut? This is not fine. It is adversely going to affect your studies. Should I stop asking you the questions?
No.
Then you don't answer me any questions. And should I stop asking you the questions? If it start going you and I start thinking in my brain that Abdul Kavi is not going to give any answer, so stop asking. I ask you to know whether how you studied, how you perform, are you having some issues in the study. So I want to talk to your parents. And in the previous class, I asked you, but you left 5 minutes earlier without informing me. ऐसा मत करो यार, तुम्हारी खराब हो जाएगी पढ़ाई सारी. Otherwise, if you are having any issue, then join one-on-one classes, because if you are not able to answer me in the group, then you join one-on-one classes. Talk to your parents. The sir was saying this thing.
Yes.
Yes, you, Mariam, can you answer me that what would happen when calcium react with water?
Ca plus H2O gives CaOH the whole twice plus H2. The conditions are it can react with cold water, hot water, or steam, but the preferred one is cold water.
Very good, proud of you. This is the way that everyone, she is moving, she's traveling, and still she is able to answer me the questions, and she is listening. So this is the way the students perform. And without hard work, you are not going to improve, Abdul Kavi. So this is very important for you, that you must study at home. So please note it down, this one. Everyone fast. You done noted, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Abdul Kavi, note it fast. Aisha, you done? Aisha, you are not
Yes, sir,
visible
done.
to me. Your screen is black. Means your camera is what's the issue?
Sir, I don't know. One
Still, it is black. Okay. So let's start moving further. We're going to discuss this one. Okay, first you memorize this one, that why do calcium float on the surface of water? So here's the answer. I'm going to listen from everyone. You have to memorize this question fast. And this is going to be important questions here. So what we have here is that calcium, why do calcium float on the surface of water? Calcium float on the surface of water because when calcium comes in the contact with the water, okay, molecule, it produces hydrogen gas. When you know that when calcium is going to react with water, it is going to produce hydrogen gas. It is not so vigorous, means that it let the hydrogen gas to catch fire. Okay, so it is moderately reacting and producing enough hydrogen that the hydrogen gas that is produced, the bubbles of hydrogen get stick with the surface of the calcium and let it to float. And moreover, calcium is producing enough, because calcium is means that much reactive. Like unlike we can say that magnesium having the mass of 24. and calcium is going to have mass 40, but still the magnesium does not come to the surface. It is still light and weight, it should float. But the heavier metal, that is calcium, even it can float. Why? Because calcium is producing enough hydrogen. It is reacting, it is producing enough hydrogens that is being required to make it float. So moreover, calcium is reactive metal which react with water spontaneously and produce sufficient hydrogen gas, which provide it upthrust to float. Okay. So just memorize this one fast. Memorize this one. Nobody is going to write it. When I ask you to write, you have to write. Memorize it fast. Done, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, you, Arish. Explain me, why do calcium float on the surface of water?
Calcium floats on the surface of water because it produces enough hydrogen, which makes it thrust up to the surface of the water.
Just you, Zainab.
It's because when calcium comes in contact with water molecules, it produces hydrogen gas and gives an upthrust to it, due to which it floats. And then calcium is also an highly reactive metal. And then when it reacts with water spontaneously, something, due to its upthrust, it floats.
Means it can provide a sufficient amount of hydrogen that is make it to float. Okay. Yes, you, Ayan. Speak a little bit louder,
Calcium,
please.
calcium floats on water because when it comes in contact with water, it produces enough hydrogen gas, which provides it a upthrust, and it's also a reactive metal, so it can float on water.
Yes, you, Alvina.
Calcium floats on the surface of water because when the calcium it comes in contact with the water molecules, it produces hydrogen gas, and these bubbles um for- they make an upthrust
These
to
bubbles
make,
get stick to the surface of calcium.
yeah, they stick to the surface of the calcium and they make it float. Moreover, the
Provide it an
calcium
upthrust, which make it float. Yes, yes, yes. Very good.
Moreover, the calcium, it is a reactive metal which reacts with water very spontaneously and produces sufficient hydrogen gas to and provide it an upthrust to float.
Yes, you, Aisha.
Calcium floats on surface of the water because when calcium comes in contact with the water, it produces hydrogen gas and it sticks on the surface of the calcium and due to buoyant force it floats. Calcium is a reactive metal that reacts with water and produces hydrogen gas.
Okay, so please make it down in your notebook. Note everybody fast. Yes, everyone noted down.
Yes.
Okay. So let's. Is there anyone still writing? Shall I move forward? Okay.
Yes.
Now, let's have a question over it. Then we shall be going to move further. Okay. Just a minute. Yes. Just tell me question answer for the answer. Question number 4. What should be the answer for the question number 4? Yes, you, Mariam. Answer question. What should be the answer for the question number 4?
Yes, sir, 1 minute. Do not react with cold. Iron, Fe.
Iron. Yes, Aisha. Is it is Mariam is correct?
Yes.
Okay. So because you know that iron react with steam, so that's why it do not react with cold water. Can you answer me the question number 5?
C.
C. Fe3O4. Fe3O4 means when iron is going to react with water, it react with steam and form Fe3O4. Yes, question of answer for question number 6.
Option 3 and 4. B.
Option 3 and 4. Yes, it's react less violently with water and bubbles get stick to the surface of the water. Yes, the 3 and 4 means D is the correct option. Okay, everyone understood? It react less violently with water, not with violently. Sodium and potassium react violently with water. Okay, tell me what should be the answer for question number 20.
Madam.
Zn.
Yes.
Yes, yes, you Alvina.
Sir, I don't know. I don't understand this question.
You didn't get this one. Yes, you Mariam.
MG.
Yes, you Junaid.
I don't get this one. I don't understand this one. I don't get this one. Yeah, I don't
Okay,
understand.
so please everyone, please note this question in your copy. It is saying that which of the following four metals, means these are the four metals, would be displaced, means the metal will be displaced from the solution of its salt. Like for example, we have magnesium sulfate, we have AgNO3, we have zinc sulfate, and we have copper sulfate. So which one of the following four metals would be displaced from its salt by the other three metals? Means which salt is there which can be easily, so that is silver nitrate. Silver nitrate salt will be displaced by copper, it will be displaced by zinc, it will be displaced by magnesium, because silver is least reactive metal. Okay, so note it down fast.
Noted.
Along with the options. Note done, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Question number 27.
I think the option B.
Option B.
Option B, sir.
Option B.
Is incorrect. That magnesium react with cold water? No, magnesium react with hot water. So option B is
Yes.
correct. Incorrect. Okay. Write down the question number 42 in your copy. Fast. Question number 42. Done, everyone? Noted? Yes. Can anybody guess that what is the compound X? What is the compound X?
Sir, X is calcium.
X is calcium.
X is sodium
Sir, I
sodium
think X
hydroxide.
is potassium. K.
I think potassium. Yes, you, Junaid?
I think it's calcium. Calcium.
Okay, calcium.
So I think so. X is sodium.
Yes, Aisha is saying. Aisha, can you tell me that why you are saying? Can you tell me the reason why X is sodium?
Um, molecular
Molecular mass.
mass is 40.
So sodium has molecular mass 23, and that of calcium it is 40. No, I'm confusing you. Your answer is correct. But if you are saying the molecular mass of what?
Molecular mass of sodium I think the sodium hydroxide.
Yeah, the molecular
40.
mass of sodium hydroxide is 40. So you know that reaction with cold water. So sodium can react with cold water, potassium can react with cold water, and calcium can react with cold water. And they all form hydroxide, respective hydroxide. Why it is rejected? Because if it is calcium, first of all, it should be XOH whole twice in this form. Otherwise, it is saying the molecular mass, not the
XOH, I did not get it. What X?
yeah, it is saying XOH, na? It is not whole twice. That's why it is rejected. These two molecules form XOH. Like sodium hydroxide is, if sodium is X, then it will be XOH. Potassium form XOH. So when X is a metal like sodium or potassium, it can be. Now, why calcium is being rejected? Why? Because it is not calcium hydroxide. Because the calcium hydroxide has formula is X should be written like XOH whole twice, but it is XOH only. So either we have potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Now, which one is going to be correct? So this is the molecular mass 40 that is being given to you. And it is not the it is saying that when it reacts with water, it gives a compound Y, which is a base with molecular mass. The Y has a molecular mass. X is not going to have molecular mass. With molecular formula XOH and molecular mass. And if it is talking about the X element, it should be written
So
as
why will be sodium hydroxide?
why it is sodium hydroxide. Yeah, because if it is written for the X for calcium, if we consider, then it should be atomic mass, not the, because calcium is an atom. It is an element. Molecule comes when
Yes.
two different atoms combine together. Like for sodium hydroxide is a molecule. So it is talking about the molecular mass. Now, if we talk about the potassium hydroxide molecular mass, it is 39 alone. Potassium alone has 39 mass. Plus 1 for hydrogen and 16 for hydrogen. For this one, you will get 56 total as a mass. But in case of sodium, you have 23 plus 16 plus 1, you will get 40. Understood?
Okay.
And a gas, Z gas is?
Z is hydrogen.
Hydrogen gas. So please, everyone, note the answers for X, Y, Z and write down the chemical reaction. That is sodium and react with water. It will give you sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. Done, everyone?
Yes.
One last question.
So can you show the equation?
Yeah, NaOH. Na when react with water, it will give you NaOH plus H2. Writing it again. It is X, it is Y, it is Z. Done? Done, everyone?
2Na plus 2H2O gives 2Na.
Yeah, we can balance it.
Redox. Yeah. Can we write 2N plus 2H2O gives 2Na?
Yeah, it is. If we balance it, it will be, we written it unbalanced. Now हमें 2 sodium, 2 sodium, 4 hydrogen, so it should be 2 water here. Done?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one last question. Yes, 63. You have to answer this question according to the preference given. Yes. Yes, Mariam, what is X?
Sir, can you give me some more time?
Okay, take your time.
Sir. Sir, X is calcium, Y is magnesium, and Z is zinc.
Yeah, that can be zinc, aluminium, or iron. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you are correct. So I hope you